G'day, Greg Miller from The Joy of Wood. I want to talk today about drills and drilling. You know, as long as humanity's been around, they've been playing with wood. And putting holes in wood is always an important thing to do. Initially, that could be done with a sharp stone, with a bit of wood which is harder than the wood you're drilling into. And as metals developed, so other technology came into play. So let's have a quick look at some of the history here. I love this. This is a gimlet, isn't it fantastic? So the gimlet has this T-handle, and we've got a spiral here and a little lead screw that helps to pull it in, and that is going to drill the hole. I'll show you. In here, and we push and we twist. So between me pushing and the little lead screw pulling, it's going to wind its way into the wood. Love this. Precursor to the corkscrew. Right, so we're through. So that has drilled a hole that diameter into there. Now here's another variation. I love this one. So this one, instead of having the spiral to it, has a curved piece which is going to ream the hole out. We've still got that little lead screw on the end. So I put this into here, push and twist. And in it goes. Love these beautiful old tools. This is from the days when people expected to have to put some labour in to produce result. Look at that. Another beautiful hole of that diameter, just about 3/8 of an inch. So along later on comes another invention. Now I don't have one of the beautiful wooden ones, but the brace goes back over 1,000 years. And here, this brace, we've put into it a Shell Auger, which is very like this, but without the lead screw. So let's see how it works. Fantastic thing about the brace is it provides amazing power. The key is to hold this really still, just here. Put that little bit of pressure on it, and down we go with the Shell Auger. This is a very, very old style of bit for drilling. There it is. How's that? It's just fantastic, isn't it? I love it. So they, of course, came in lots of different sizes. So remember the little twist gimlet there? Wow. Let's mechanise it. Here we go. So there's this basically the same thing. We're going to put that into the old brace here. That grips onto there. In it goes. Now that is so much easier on the body than winding it in with all that wrist action. So I've got a lot more power, I've got a lot more muscles involved, and it's just as easier. Pull that back out. There we go. How's that? And I love human ingenuity. Here somebody has taken a brace, what's called a nail bit, these ones here, for pre-drilling, before you put nails into hardwood. And then they've put a little handle on it and converted it into a hand gimlet. Pretty cool, eh? So the brace changed everything. Amazing what could be done with them. And the brace has evolved. How do you love this one here? This is another real oldie here. And along they went, and they got very fancy. So this one has two jaws in here which will hold the bit, and it also has a ratchet, and that ratchet enables, if you are drilling into a corner, let's put the ratchet on, and it can only go one way. It will actually ratchet. Where are we? Come on, round we go. That's it. See that? So if you've only got a partial turn you can do, the ratchet enables you to do that. It has a forwards and a reverse. It's just such beautiful technology that's evolved. But let's have a bit of a look at the bits as they've developed along the way. So we started out with the nail bit, and then along the way come all these other fantastic bits. This one is called a centre bit. So this is one, they came of course in lots of different sizes. There's a nice 2-inch one there. So the centre bit is fantastic the way that it works. Let's put this into here. Right. So what we've got is the point that marks the centre of the circle, and then we've got this little scribe on the outside, and that scribe starts to cut the fibres so that the perimeter of the circle is defined, and then along comes the little blade behind it. Pretty nifty, hey? And in it goes. Beautiful. Now the trick with a brace is applying the pressure on here. This has no lead screw to pull it in. Though sometimes you can always use your head. Keeping it still makes all the difference. So that will go through there. So that's the old style centre bit. Then along comes the new improved centre bit. Look at this one here. Fantastic. I love these. These have the advantage of having a lead screw on the end, which helps to pull the bit into the wood. Okay, so let's see how we go with this nice improved centre bit here. I'll just drill a hole into here. Round and round we go. So there it goes. There's that little scribe cutting the fibres in the outer part of the circle, and then along comes the little cutter behind, and around we go. I'm just using my head to help keep it still as we come in. So anyway, in we go and do the hole. Now, quite tricky like that sometimes to keep the pressure on. Easiest way to use a brace is up above it with your shoulder leaning on it. It's like working on a sawhorse, or put it in a vise this way. What about this? I put it into here, put that into there, and what I'm going to do is put the left hand here on my muscle arm, is going to do the cranking like this. So I'm actually leaning on it with my body, and in we go. Now if you want this to be clean both sides and not to blow out, you wait till the prickle emerges from the other side. See that just coming out there now? So I'm going to back pedal from there and turn that around and come in from the other side. The nice thing about using the brace like this and bracing it against your body is it helps to keep it still while you're doing the cranking. It's very easy to push this around as you swing your arm. So now we're coming in from the other side, and they meet up. You want that to be nice and clean in there. And so what you end up with, it's nice and clean without a big blowout on the other side. Of course, brace bits come in lots of different forms. Here's a real oldie. No lead screw, so you used a chisel to chop a bit of a square hole to get it started, and then away you went from there. That's the real oldie. And along the way, the wonders of the Industrial Revolution, lots of different shapes and styles were created, invented, patented, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages. And here's the old gauge pattern. That one's meant to be able to drill on an angle, which those ones have more trouble doing cleanly. So lots of variations. So that's the brace. Now we use the brace a lot. It is a wonderful thing. But the twist drill was invented. So we've got, here's one here, made for a brace. So the twist drill just revolutionised things again. So that one just does a really nice, clean hole. Put that into there. Let's get our piece of wood back over here. You notice I'm purposefully drilling this hanging over the edge so I don't drill a hole in my bench top. There's method in the madness. All right, look at this. Beautiful. Now the invention of the twist drill was just huge. And of course, it wasn't long before we had other forms of drills which appeared. Beautiful eggbeater hand drill. Love these things. These are fantastic. They're just so easy to use. But the secret always with drilling is getting the drill on the angle that you want. Now, if I want to drill perpendicular to the surface, I can't do it from here because I actually cannot see. I can see this way, but I can't see that way. So when you get your eye up above it, you're far more likely to be able to get that perspective to drill perpendicular to the piece of wood. The other thing to remember with these is you go in and you're drilling a hole, but you don't go reverse to bring it out because you're going to leave the junk behind in the hole. So what you need to do is keep turning it the same direction and lift it straight out without bending it. So what about this one, the breast drill? So these drills here, they're called the breast drill because they're designed to push with your chest to get that power that you need, either vertically or leaning on it horizontally. And we'll commonly use it, again, using the shoulder, wind it in. So this is pretty fancy, 2 speeds. So you undo that, turn it round, and then you get the other speed. Beautiful bit of engineering. I love this one here. This is from about 1910, beautiful German one. So it's 2-speed also, but we've got a gearbox in here. Again, it's just a version of the breast drill with that handle on the end to be able to lean on it with whatever part of your body. Gives a lot of power, and the bigger the bit, the more you need to push to aid the process. Love that old beast. And of course, we've got a smaller version here. We use all of these in this workshop. They're just such beautiful tools. They don't need electricity, and they require our attention and our power, which we provide. So good for the body and good for the planet. You also notice none of these have got bits of plastic in them. Once the cheaper drills come along with all sorts of plastic bits, they're inevitably going to break down. You get hold of these nice old ones that are all metal, they just work beautifully. So here's another variation. Now this one has a countersink bit. So the countersink bit makes room for the head of the screw. So that shape there enables the head of the screw to go in. Look at this. Here's another one with a countersink bit. A tiny little drill. Very small action, so you don't get a lot of power. But for small drill bits and things like countersinking, lovely. How about this? This is beautiful, isn't it? Don't get many of these. Now this is very fancy because as you go up and down with a double helix, it means it keeps turning one way as you go. Love it. This one only goes one direction, so the drill bit turns backwards and forwards as you go. Isn't the development of the technology in these absolutely beautiful? The spiral just changed so much. Thank you, Archimedes. So the important thing with drilling, and these are probably what we use a lot for all these small jobs, is making sure you don't hold it here. They're a bit of a pest, those, most of the time, unless you're going to be holding that with your body this way and drilling. You want to be holding it this way so you can get the line right. And notice I've got my elbow locked into my body, which makes it so much easier to control it and to keep this end still. Whatever angle that I choose to go in, keeping that elbow locked into the body makes a really big difference. And it's another very useful thing with the bench hook. The bench hook provides that sacrificial surface for drilling. So I can drill in here and protect my bench. Now, without it being pegged down in there, I'll often use my elbow to hold it down, just so it doesn't lift back up again. You can put a cramp on there, do all sorts of things, but the idea is not to pepper your bench top with lots of holes. So drills and drilling. We love all of these tools. Fantastic. The brace, the breast drill, the eggbeater hand drill, all the different types of bits that can go in them. They just revolutionise your woodworking, and the history is fascinating, and they're just such beautiful tools to use. You can leave your kit unattended with one of these, whereas you wouldn't do that with a corded drill or even a cordless drill. And these ones help you understand the material better, because you've got to put the effort and the energy in. You can feel what's going on, which is one of the lovely things about hand tools. Beautiful, eh? Enjoy your drilling. See you in the workshop. Cheers.